All right.
Alive.
Push in.
Watch out. I think.
What happened to our Star-Lord's ult?
No idea. Oh, their Star-Lord ulted. I think he must have died during their ult.
Yes, but our ulted first.
Apparently, he died to their Star-Lord's ult.
I need some healing.
Don't need.
Like, where the fuck was our team there?
No idea. I'd be curious to see the healing difference between Jeff and I once this match is done. Oh, so you probably want to be left for. Okay, I really need to remember to use that left shift more often.
Yes.
I keep thinking it's the movement.
The Venom is after me. Oh, right now.
Where are they? Got him.
Where in his name is our Lord?
Later.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? Bear with me here. I'm running a little bit behind. It is a very cold day. And is the song not working? There we go. Okay, the tweet is live. Do me a favor. I'm also surprised no one redeemed the spin command. Maybe that's why. She's not listening to chat. Interesting. I don't blame her. Alright, so yes, the tweet is live. Do me the favor, go give it some love. I'm grabbing you guys today's sauce, and then we're good to go. Supposed to snow any minute? Yeah, it's apparently snowing in North Florida. Which is just like whack. Actually, that may be why none of the commands went through. Sorry, my bot was not working, chat. Well, you see, the deal is my bot is still not working. Gotta wait on it to boot up. And it is taking its sweet time. I really wish this stupid bot had a way to like refresh the chat so it would like reconnect instead of me having to close the entire bot down and restart it. I think that's like incredibly stupid of this bot, and it's one of the things I really don't like about it. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that. Anywho. Okay, should be working now. Apparently Nightbot isn't though. Okay. There we go. Hello, chat. Hope everything's going well today. Actually, you know what? I feel like this isn't that bad. You guys only have light on one side of me instead of the other side for some reason. So we'll just leave it like this. Art update. Yes, here is today's artwork. As usual, go give the artist some love. And we have another day of FGO with no news. It's really interesting, and I guess it shouldn't be like all that surprising that quite literally we're just in like doldrums here. NA, basically rushed LB 7.2, so like expecting news out of NA is unlikely. Like we're headed towards the Valentine's event, and that'll be what that'll be. But JP, the problem there is that they just absolutely like cooked over the last like month and a half. And so like there's reasonably understandably like nothing coming out of the devs right now. So it's kind of causing them like basically to have this like period of like, oh, there's no news. That ass? Wait, what ass? Tonight should be Cuckoo banner, right? Yep. Yeah, we'll be rolling tomorrow for Cuckoo at least. So that'll give us something more to do. In the meantime, it's really not much of anything. Oh, come on, game. I hate how, like, I can go all the way back to the title screen and then the game's like, bet, but now there's been an update, so now you have to, like, completely relog again. And I'm like, couldn't you have just done it when I went back to the title? Just kind of wild. No live on YouTube tonight? No, I've been live on YouTube. I was going to say Burning's over there right now. Granted, you know, since I made the switch, I think there's a lot of people that like haven't realized. So it is what it is. Yeah, I was gonna say I'll I guess ask the mods to like drop the link in chat again, like on both sides, but it doesn't really matter. Like at the end of the day, people are either gonna find it or not find it based off whether they want to or not. So I basically just, you know, it is what it is. I made a community post on YouTube. I posted about it in Discord. I talked about it on stream. So if people still haven't figured it out, like there's only like so much babying I can do before it like starts to annoy people. Let it be what it be. Maybe make a community post on YouTube. I did. I think people just didn't see it or ignored it. It just is what it is. But yeah, like I said, I've done everything that I can think of to do at this point, short of just constantly inundating everyone with the link. And I think everybody that's like already made the switch is like just gonna start getting annoyed by it, and everyone that basically watches on Twitch will also start getting annoyed by it. So logically, I don't want to like keep bothering people with that. You made the switch? Yes, I'm actually the Japanese engineer in charge of developing the Switch. You figured me out. Judging by my atypical Japanese features and my inability to speak moon runes. Yeah. I hear reading is hard for some people. I mean, look, it's fine. I'm used to it. It's just one of those deals where it's like I can only spam it so much. So it's like it's something to be mentioned like every stream, I guess, that like, yes, I have a new YouTube channel, but like I'm only going to mention it like once or twice a stream. I'm not going to like sit there and just annoy people with it. It's like for the same reason that sometimes like when you get like sponsorship offers, they want you to like mention the sponsor like every... God, in some cases, I've seen them be like every 5 minutes. And I'm like, no, dude, that's not going to happen. It's like 20 minutes alone is already annoying enough. And I think that's a lot more fair. But I've seen sponsors that just want you to like constantly like shill them. And I'm like, nah, like, especially when like some of the sponsors want you to like spend 2 hours like reviewing their product or something, and I'm like, I mean, I can stall things out with the best of them, but there's a point where I'm just gonna be yapping and it's like gonna have nothing to do with the product at that point. It's a mid-roll ad you can't skip. Yeah, pretty much. Tall blonde hair cat is 100% Japanese. I wish I had blonde hair. It's just going gray. That's all it is, chat. But yeah, we're just burning AP down right now on JP. There's really not too much to do. I am a little bit behind in the event, but that's because today I took the time to go do like the strengthenings and interludes that were either temporarily available or half cost. So I got those done. But naturally, that plus I've already managed to make like 2 blue apples at some point in the event means I'm probably about a day's worth behind now at this point. So I probably need to just go ahead and like at least use up my 2 blue apples at some point. So I'm thinking we'll probably do that right here as soon as I can get these storm pods done. How to tell when somebody doesn't have their support split. We got a Biscione A3 sprite? If we did, that's news to me, because as far as I know, I haven't seen it at all. Gray is a shade of blonde. To me, no, it's not. Like, this is when people tell me like platinum blonde is a thing, and I've gotten in like arguments with people over this of like what people determine to be platinum blonde, because like I'm not gonna say like you can't be a platinum blonde, you can, but literally I have seen people just be like, oh well, it's like it's gray hair, and I'm like, no dude, that's not blonde, that's gray. You call it gray. That's like, instead of me being a janitor, I'm like a custodial manager. It's like you can dress it up how you want, but I'm still a fucking janitor, right? Like it does not matter what title you give it at that point. I hear Deku Palace music. Yeah, I don't know. Has chat actually song requested stuff? Because I can't tell if this is just like it's broken and it's only playing my stuff, or if it's playing or if nobody's song requested yet. Is the dress blue and black or white and gold? Yeah, exactly. It feels like it's one of those deals. Check the shot if you're up to date on story. My brother, I literally just said we're not up to date on story. You were here when I said that. So I'm not up to date. I at some point I'm gonna catch up, and like I said, there's no reason not to do it today since we have to do like rolls tomorrow. So was mentally AFK. Listen, I feel that on a spiritual level. I understand. Like, and again, like for those of you guys that don't know, I've started my tax season hours. Today was day 2. I got a lot of work done today. Today was a good, productive day, but I'm also like mentally shot because today was a good, productive day. So it's one of those deals where I'm like that's part of the reason that I'm slow and scatterbrained myself. So the concept of not being mentally there, I feel that on a spiritual level. How much longer till the end of season? Oh, like 3 months. That's the problem with tax season. It's basically half the year. Because there's a spring tax season and a fall tax season. Which is one of the things I really fucking hate about my job. And one of the reasons I would, at this point, probably prefer not to be an accountant. Love to be a streamer. And it's really interesting because, you know, there's been a lot of discourse about, like, whether or not it's more difficult to be a streamer than it is to be like to work just a 9-to-5 job. And I hear all this like back and forth discourse about like people saying it's like, of course it's not streaming. Like, why would anyone claim that it's streaming? And I'm going to just flat out tell you that it really depends on what the comparison is. Because certain streamers will absolutely just like phone it in and never do much. Other streamers will be going like balls to the wall, constantly like setting things up and running special events and so on and whatnot. Simultaneously, it's the same thing when we compare it to like some sort of normal job. Like, are we talking about some sort of like pressure cooker environment where you're stressed out and like working as hard as you can constantly? Or are we talking about like the bro making some subs at Subway? Like, I don't know. It really depends to me what you compare it to. Because I feel like streaming can absolutely be harder than a 9-to-5 job, depending. But streaming can also be easier than a 9-to-5 job, depending. So I think it really just depends on a lot of circumstances. Bro at Subway making that bread, literally, yes. Being entertaining for long hours is tough. I think I saw like a clip of like Kai Cenat talking about it. And he made the statement of like, no, it's not more difficult, and here's why. And there is some truth to what he said. Because he's like, no matter how much work we do for stream, I love this. And so again, it's like that concept of if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. and it's that same sort of concept. But I also feel like while there is truth in that, Kai Cenat's not being entirely truthful, because what Kai Cenat probably enjoys is the act of entertaining. And this is a thing. Like, I myself enjoy that as well, okay? And then there's also the idea of, like, the fame and the fortune that go along with it, okay? So that's supposed to be an N. Whoops. I'm sure Kai loves these things, right? But that's not the whole story, because this is like what the forward-facing public sees. They see these three things, and they go like, "Oh yeah, you know, of course, Kai, like, his job's just easy. He just entertains people and makes money and is like famous because of it." Nobody sees like the behind-the-scenes work that goes into it, and I can't stress to you enough that, like, no matter how much you like either of these things, it doesn't matter. The behind-the-scenes work is still a bitch. It's repetitive, it's redundant, it's boring, it's annoying, it's tedious, it's frustrating, it's absolutely mind-boggling at times. And it is something that, frankly, I think this is where, like, you see all these high-profile streamers saying this stuff. Yeah, it's because all the other stuff that's down here for where they might not like their job, they're literally at the point where they just pay somebody else to do it for them. Why? Because they don't fucking like it. So they literally pay people to do all the boring, tedious, annoying shit that they don't want to have to do. And therefore, of course, their job's easy at that point. But they had to have worked through it to that point to get to this where it's like, oh yeah, all I do is enjoy my job now because I don't have to do any of the shit that I don't enjoy. But like a normal like streamer, like myself, for instance, I don't have anyone to do all of this shit for me. I have to do it myself. So it's like, yeah, I can't afford to like pay someone to go in there and just like handle all of my social media accounts and shit like that. God, that'd be fucking amazing, right? Like that is absolutely the like downside of all of this. As a streamer or really any sort of content creator, you are expected to be like multifaceted and to be able to like simultaneously do multiple things at a time and react to multiple things at a time. And it's almost impossible for any one person to do everything that they need to do. The only way it's usually possible is if the person does not have a job. And then at that point, that person is more or less probably like battling for their life at that point, because that means that content creation is their job. And therefore, they desperately need the money from it. And it is what it is. Like Elon paying people to play his game account. Yeah, I heard about that drama, which is just like funny to me. But, it is what it is, right? Like, I'm sure to a degree you also have streamers that like do the same thing where they go like, hey, listen, I don't have the time to do this, so can you like go set up an account for me? Can you like play it and level it up to this point so I can take it over and then like, you know, blah, 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 blah. Because again, I'm sure it's a thing. Is that not against terms of service? I guess it kind of depends on like what you're doing, right? Like, are we talking about like your, I don't know, somehow like you're trading accounts in a game where you're not supposed to be able to trade an account? Yeah, that might be a thing, right? Like that I couldn't tell you. God, what was I doing? Yeah, I was doing this shit. My JP is not equipped really to run against this. Who's my best quick looper on JP? Oh, was I doing arts? And my arts is already my strongest. It's so nasty because like it's one of those deals where if you have a lopsided account, it's going to be very difficult, I think, to gain points of like certain other card types. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do arts, get to the goal. Actually, I think this is a gold node. Let me double check that as well. Silver and gold. So this is actually the silver node. But either way, bronze isn't there. Wait, my backline is all quick. Your arts. Give me a buster unit. I guess teach? I've just been running 2 DPS the whole event. Yeah, it's definitely something you can do. Is the ordeal called prologue dropping? I want to read the continuation already. You're gonna have to wait. Like, I do believe we very quickly get like part 1 here. I think in like February, but the like second half won't be until like April, so you're still gonna have to wait a bit. So glad to have the Valk Assassins. I don't even... Oh, I should have switched Mystic codes too. It's May for the next story, right? It's gonna be April probably. Because again, the schedule seems to indicate as such. I feel this is developer way of telling people to roll quick units. Listen, like I said, like it's been really interesting because I've had people like argue with me over this recently of like, you know, like is quick actually in a bad state? And I'm like, well, I think there's just one like meta indicator and then several other like minor indicators. So the meta indicator is literally how chat feels, like how the community as a whole feels about quick. Because I've seen people insist that there's like nothing wrong with quick and that it's perfectly fine. The community doesn't feel that way. So regardless, even if and this is like we're gonna play like Schrodinger's quick here of it doesn't matter then at that point if quick is completely fixed, because it's not fixed in the eyes of the community. The developers still need to do more, because until they do, people won't actually go out of their way to get quick units, and there will be a negative stigma attached to them. So that is the issue at play. And then there's the idea, the concept of like, okay, is quick actually like in a good spot? Is it a community issue or is it an actual game issue? Well, I think if you were to sit down and you were to look at that, you would see that some of the units that they have released over the years for quick have been quite nice. However, some of the units that they have released over the years for quick have not. This is no different than literally any other card type at this point. You're going to have some hits, you're going to have some misses. I've seen people try to say things like, trying to think here, like basically that quick shouldn't be the exact same as the other card types. And I agree. However, and this is the point that I've pointed out. This is my personal diagnosis of the card types. Arts is for looping. Okay. Foster is for literally just damage. And quick I guess you could call it critting. To me, this is a problem because the reality here is quick can also loop and quick can also deal damage. But the other reality here is so can each of these other card types. In fact, none of these things is actually like endemic to their card type. Why? Well, if we say that Arts is looping, Quick can also loop, just maybe not as efficiently. But if we also say that Arts is looping, Buster can loop without ever caring about like refund. So that's a weird thing. If we say that Buster does damage and that's its main call to fame, why then can we make an Arts or a Quick comp out damage a Buster comp if certain conditions are true? So then at that point, you can say that every card type can do damage. And when it comes to crit, I think we can maybe make an argument that it's a lot harder for Arts to crit, but it still can if you set the comp up right. And that I'm sorry, but saying that Quick somehow has anything over Buster at this point that is stacked with units that have insane modifiers and literally has a composition where like most of the Buster supports actually just flood the party with stars at this point. I don't think you can really say that crit is something that's specific to Quick. Okay? So the reality here is that like none of these things are actually specific to them. So instead, you have to start looking at it from a perspective of how do they each handle each one? Well, if you look at Arts, how does it handle looping? Well, looping in Arts is basically you refund back to 100%. Straight up. Okay? If we look at Buster, how does it handle looping? Well, you don't refund back to 100%. You just brute force charge back to 100%. And if we look at Quick, how does it handle looping? You loop back to 50%. Now, there are some exceptions here. There are Arts units that only get to like 70 or 80%. There are Arts units that only get to 50%. But this is the kind of like lion's share of how these work. And it is an interesting thing. There's almost no Quick unit in the entire game that will full refund without the use of cards. Almost every single unit is designed to get to either 50% or less. And there are some that are the exception that go over this, but they usually get to like 60, 70, maybe even 80% in a pretty insane scenario. But that's it. They don't ever really get to 100%. Then, if we take a look at damage output, well, Arts has some really nice scalability in the fact that a lot of its supports have card type up. Same thing that we can say with Buster. However, we will just add in extra Oberon synergy. And then Quick basically has card type up for its damage, but essentially it has like crit modifiers that it likes to stack on. Some of these also do too, but it really just depends, and it's more endemic with the supports themselves. Then, if we look at the last metric, we did looping, we did damage. Now let's look at how they actually crit. Well, an Arts unit, it's probably going to be reliant on, again, the Arts unit to actually have something. So I'm going to say this is unit-based. Buster, it comes from both the unit and the support. And Quick comes from both the unit and the support. Though I will say these two are actually inverse. Far more of it comes from the support and the Quick setup, and far more of it usually tends to come from the unit and the Buster setup. Okay? And I'm not going to say that like that's not a thing over here in Arts. It's just you don't really have Arts crit support as much. There's very specific units that do it. Okay? So what you see is like you can basically point to like that's kind of a deficiency, that's kind of a deficiency, and that's kind of a deficiency. So then surely Arts is like the worst, right? Not really. Like Arts is actually just low key really strong. I've seen some people that have some takes where it's like Arts is like somehow the worst card type, and I always laugh at this because it's like. I'm going to reiterate this for everybody in chat, but if you put a gun to my head, and I don't really play favorites with the card types, I actually do like to use units of every single type. But if you put a gun to my head and you ask me, okay, Cad, you can only use one card for the entirety of FGO for as long as you live, what card are you going to use? I'm going to pick Arts 10 out of 10 times because Arts just keeps going. There is no scenario in which Arts stops going. Arts just keeps going. It will always win eventually. So at the end of the day, and this is another interesting factor here, damage is usually not an issue. It is one of the easiest things in the entire game to fix. You can always get more damage. So to me, it's not a huge problem for Arts. And I'm going to say also, given the fact of just how strong its looping is, it realistically gets way better for Arts because Arts has a much greater tendency to be able to start from zero than either of the other two card types, which means having better access to craft essences that are more powerful. I've talked about that quite a bit over the years when it comes to like charge support and things like that, and this concept of reaching the quote-unquote finish line. Arts has long since reached the finish line ever since Castoria came out. It has been sitting pretty ever since then, and literally nothing will ever knock it off of its high horse, short of them just absolutely like basically surpassing Castoria in terms of what they give to the other card types. And even then, Arts will still be, quote, past the finish line. The other card types will just arguably be stronger at that point. So I really just don't see it as a thing in that regard. I think also, again, and something that you're seeing here is as we were comparing the looping design, right? We were talking about like, oh, well, you have like 100% and stuff. But again, the idea behind this is that you have a 3 times modifier with Arts as opposed to a 1 times modifier with Quick. And I mean, technically no modifier with Buster. But essentially what you have there is that it is way easier for Arts units to pull off that loop. Way easier. This is like almost not fair in the sheer disparity of loopability there. I think it's fine in the sense of they've kind of tried to balance it with the supports, but this is one of the things that leads me back to saying that the supports are actually the issue with Quick. So then we get to say like, okay, well, there are some differences, there are some disparities between the card types, but whether or not they actually exist or it's just us talking in a vacuum is another thing that needs to be examined. Because again, like I said, to me, you can point at this and you can say like somehow Arts is the weakest. And that may be true, like if you were to actually just look at it completely on paper and never fucking use it. However, Arts also has an extreme advantage when it comes to any sort of carding, and that's going to be, again, its capability to perform triple Arts chains. Technically, any card type can do this. However, it's highly unlikely if you're not running an Arts team. Also, keep in mind, the flip side there is that none of the other card bonuses really have the ability to impact the battle as much as that. You could argue that getting triple Buster could mean that you could pop off on damage and kill something faster, and that may be true. But with how much damage inflation we have in health bars and break bars nowadays, this is actually less likely. In fact, the pure existence of break bars seems to preclude the main like benefit that Buster has in terms of its raw overpowering damage. And so at that point, then repetition and loopability become way more prevalent. And there is nothing that's going to beat the triple Arts bonus for that, given the fact that it's still going to give literally everybody who includes a card in that chain 20% charge. You are just that much closer to getting to your next NP without even using any of your cards at that point. Because then if you actually do get to use your Arts card in the triple Arts chain, congratulations, you get even more refund. So yeah, to me, that's one of the big advantages that Arts has just always had. Yeah, Mighty Chain actually helped even this out a little bit, but not as much as people probably think. And it is an interesting thing to see because I've seen a lot of people make almost too big of a deal out of Mighty Chains. Mighty Chains are definitely nice. They absolutely do enhance damage and refund that you can get, but keep in mind that a lot of this just really boils down to the cards that you're getting and basically what you're trying to do. Because again, I've had people basically argue with me and say that like at play here, you know, like I just talked about the triple Arts bonus and how this is a huge boon to Arts for its carding. But a lot of people will tell you that like Quick's card performance is actually stellar. And I don't entirely disagree with that. I think that is a great concept that I think for years the majority of the community has overlooked. Quick has always had pretty decent card performance, as this does appear to be something that the developers were trying to do. However, metas are metas for a reason. And essentially what you end up having is you end up having people that kind of come from two different worlds at this point. You have people that are way more on the like challenge and min turning side of things, and they're the people that are going to be doing way more carding. But then you also have people that are on the farming side of things, and they're going to be doing way more NPing, and they're just not going to card really at all or use any sort of strategy that involves RNG. This is an interesting idea because I think you have to have both in your game. But I'm also going to say that this does cause some misconceptions on both sides. One, again, you have the people that only NP thinking that cards are just always the most RNG thing, that they're not really ever worth relying on or using. And then the flip side is you have people that think that like, oh, you've got like these farming brain rot people over here, and therefore they don't understand any of the strength of the unit and how strong this carding potential is. But the reality is that it is RNG, and they're overlooking the fact that they spent, God knows how many attempts or hours trying to produce the effect that was desired in their case. And so that to me is like on both sides, you have both over and underestimating of issues. And so like, again, I've had people tell me like, oh, well, carding's actually perfectly fine because literally with Quick, the way they have it designed now is if you go look, you basically have OG Scotty and then Summer Scotty. And OG buffs basically your Quick crit and Summer Scotty buffs your Buster crit. So therefore, for most units, you tend to have a quick arts buster deck or some sort of variation. Maybe you have triple quick and only a single buster card. And then essentially what it feels like it's designed to do is like, oh, well, this has now made 80% of your deck capable of critting. And that's true. That is actually a thing. And I do think this is something that the developers are trying to push you towards. However, this has an inherent problem. Because if we're talking about the card type, sure, this can definitely benefit. However, I have two observations I would like to point out. Observation number one, basically, we have had to rely on Buster somehow to fix Quick. This is a problem. This tells me exactly that there is an issue. The fact that, again, if you go all the way back to look at how Osaka Behime was buffed originally, what did they do with her? They made her a Buster Quick hybrid instead of pushing her further down the Quick line that they should have. This ended up creating a problem. What was the problem? The reliance on Buster to solve Quick's issues. You can't do that. You can't go poach the benefit of another card and say that your system has no issues. It still has issues. The second point I'd like to point out here is this is actually not a system discussion. This is a discussion about the Quick card at that point, not the Quick systems. If the Quick systems are what we're talking about, congratulations, take every mention of carding and throw it out. Why? Because a system is something that you can reproduce over and over and over again. And carding is RNG. So this is kind of the problem. As long as carding does remain significantly RNG. And what do I mean by significantly? I mean 80% means that 1 in every 5 chances you still don't get what you want out of this. Okay? And that's not even actually true here, because there are 2 other units that also have cards in the mix, which means this number is actually far lower than what your desired impact is. Therefore, carding cannot be relied upon to repeatedly produce the same effects. This is why you'll go into a node and you'll maybe try to use the new Quick units, and essentially what it is they're going, hey, you don't have enough refund to actually be able to sit there and loop over this oddly structured like 1-2-1 node. Okay, so now as a result, what we want you to do is we want you to crit a wave down. Well, guess what? If it's the opening wave, this is not that big of an issue, because even if we don't get the cards somehow that we want for some desired effect, we can actually delay and turn this into a 4-turn. But if you start thinking about it that way, you don't have to do that with either of the other 2 card types. So that is an issue. Pulling it back once more, even if we suppose that it's now like a 2-1-2 node or something like that, now you've maybe fired off your NP on turn 1 and you're going to fire it off on turn 2, but you didn't have enough refund. How do you overcome the middle wave? Well, you basically crit this wave down. That's what the devs seem to be intending you to do. There's just a huge fucking problem with this. What do you do when you don't get the cards? And I've talked about this a little bit because it's one of the reasons that it actually makes Bunny such a consistent carder. If you actually go look at her, one of the things that she really does, besides just card manipulation, is she buffs the entire party's crit. And that's a huge factor that needs to be understood, because that does cut down on the RNG aspect of that. A lot of the times where I'll use Bunny in a crit scenario like this is when I know I can get away with it. And when can I get away with it? Well, logically, there are 3 classes that I can get away with it against. With her being a ruler, this means that a Moon Cancer node would absolutely be right up her alley. Secondly, if it's a again, Berserker node, everybody's actually carding effectively. And thirdly, if it is a Rider node, Bunny herself might be only neutral against that, but even if you do end up with, say, Koyanskaya cards, they will be effective against that unit. So even if you get 5 of a kind of the wrong unit, you're still able to crit it down. So this is the idea that you need to understand. One of the flaws with the current setup for the Scotty system is that it's not party oriented, it's single damage dealer oriented. And that is an issue that this system has at the moment. So again, they can try to make it rely upon crit to handle its deficiencies, but critting is RNG. And until they do something to try and alleviate that, this system will have its flaws. So is Quick actually in a good state? I think it is absolutely still usable. I think it definitely is usable when the node structure is not weird in some way, shape, or form. However, I do think it's going to have issues the second we start getting into odd structured nodes. And then people have tried to tell me, like, well, okay, just crit it down or just use a multiple damage dealer setup. These are both things that Quick struggles with. It's not that it struggles necessarily on the card performance side of it. If you get the cards, it struggles simply to get the cards consistently. And that is the problem with this system overall. So is the Quick system fine? No, to me, it still has issues and they need to be addressed. There are numerous ways they can go about it. I've talked about this time and time again. People often reduce my arguments to some sort of like one line, but it is what it is. I'm just going to say there are numerous ways, again, that the devs can solve this, and no one solution needs to be the actual solution. They can mix and match them or do multiple of them, and either way, it will just help Quick perform better overall as a system, and then make essentially the community view it in a much better light. There we go. So does everyone understand? I know that was a long tangent, but I needed to like say all of that because I see that discourse kind of going back and forth. Quick is not bad. You should absolutely be rolling for Quick units. However, Quick has problems and it definitely needs to be addressed. So it's like, again, people usually jump to one of the two extremes. They basically go like, oh, there are no issues with Quick, which is patently wrong. Or they basically go, Quick is trash, and basically I don't need to pay any attention to it, which is also wrong. The idea is essentially that it is a flawed product at this point. And again, I'm not going to say that the other card types don't have their own set of issues. For instance, one of the things that often gets glossed over for Buster is the fact that actually most Buster units require 50% charge in order to 3-turn. This is a thing that a lot of people tend to forget because most events now have a 50% starting charge standpoint when they basically give you a craft essence that has it. And so this is a really interesting issue because it basically sweeps this problem under the rug for a lot of Buster units. But everybody wants to talk about the Buster units that can start from 0% because they're usually some of the strongest ones because, again, Oberon and Black Grail synergy. So it's really, really interesting to see this as, again, even Buster itself, people would tell you that Buster is in a much better place, but it's being cleverly disguised right now by the devs in a lot of the scenarios that you run into. Quick also arguably has the weakest defenses for CQs. I don't know about that. I feel like, and so this is like one of the other arguments I've seen people make about Quick. People have said that like, oh, well, what they're trying to do with Quick is they're trying to basically say like, okay, well, you have your support, you have your other support, and what they're trying to say is that your damage dealer is now basically the carry for this. That essentially what they're doing is instead of buffing these supports, they're trying to instead buff each individual unit. This may be a thing. However, I'm going to tell you again that none of this has managed to actually resolve the deficiencies of Quick. And here's why. It simply can't. This is not a solution to the problem. Because let me put it to you guys this way. Exactly the same thing we just talked about with Buster and starting from 50%. You have the exact same problem with Quick if you do it this way. That is to say, everyone talks about the 0% starters for Buster and talks about how good Buster is. Everyone ignores the 50% starters for Buster because that's an inconvenient truth for them. It's the same thing if you rely on your damage dealers to fix Quick. Why? Because let's say you make the perfect Quick unit. Let's say they're absolutely phenomenal and they're able of handling odd structured nodes. And you don't care anymore about Quick's deficiencies when you're using them. That's perfectly fine. But that's all it is. It's just masking the truth. It's fine when you use that unit, but it's not fine for any of the other Quick units then. And so they can keep trying to, one-up themselves with each new Quick unit, and that's fine. But it's not going to get rid of the issues that the system has as a whole. So again, the units can almost never be the solution to the system because what is ultimately driving the system are its supports. They're what determine what the system is. So it just is a thing. And like I said, I've seen people try to make this claim. Yes, I do think that they are trying to make Quick units as a whole more robust because of Quick's deficiencies, but there are just myriad units at this point that still have these deficiencies because, again, while the newer units may come with more bells and whistles, the older units simply don't have them and will take numerous buffs to get to such a point. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, too, that is also a shit ton of work compared to if you just add a new support that basically is a meta support that works alongside the Scotties. At that point, there you go. You've now addressed probably some of the issues with the Quick system, hopefully putting it in a better place. And this not only means that you get a nice payday off of this unit, but it also means that quite literally every other Quick unit stocks rise as a result, therefore making more money off of them too. I think you should record a video highlighting the Quick problem. I actually have before. I've done it multiple times. Yeah, and I think that's also another valid point that you guys are bringing up. Part of the issue here, too, is it's almost impossible when you have just the 3 card types not to compare. Okay, so when you look at Arts and you look at the sheer number of options that Arts has due to just how many supports it's gotten over the years, and you look at Buster, and while Buster has less options than Arts, Buster still has a crap ton of them. And then you look at Quick and you realize that Quick has so few supportive options. And that's where you start to go whoa, okay, that is where the problem is. If they simply start adding meta Quick units like that, yes, again, this will address the problem over time. But they have to actually start going out of their way to give you, again, well-rounded Quick units. And I think a lot of this does come back to, too, as we mentioned before, the card type being triple Arts. So this is another interesting concept. If you go look at, for instance, like OG Scotty, she actually has an Arts NP as a quick unit. Why? Because she's a caster. And in general, having an Arts NP on a support's really nice because then you can form triple Arts chains with them in order to help them get back to another NP potentially. Simultaneously, if we go look at a unit like, say, Martha Santa. So I'm not going to say you can't use Martha Santa. I'm not going to say that her NP isn't strong. However, I did point this out when she came out. One of my issues with Martha Santa is quite literally just that her NP is a quick NP. It is inherently like the worst type of NP you could have in that regard. And again, like I've seen people say like, oh, well, this makes it really easy to like chain for Mighty Chain and stuff. And I'm like, okay, but you can still make Mighty Chains with literally any other type of card. So it does not matter. This is not a like an actual issue in the end. So to me, I would much rather have the support have an Arts NP. Now we could say like, hey, maybe that's robbing another card type to help fix your system. I do think that is an interesting point to make because as we start to look at this, we start to again just discover this inconvenient truth of like, yes, Arts and triple Arts is just such a strong effect for again powering units and getting them to their NPs, and this is something that literally Buster or Quick will never have to their advantage. So I don't know what to say about that at that point other than it's just an issue that kind of is an issue. And this is why for years you've seen most of the like support units have Arts NPs because again, it's just better for them too. Again, another example of this is literally just go look back at Merlin. Merlin himself, despite buffing Buster, has an Arts NP. And that is exactly why. We know gameplay comes from stories, so it's not the devs' failings. Gameplay comes from storing, so it's not the devs' failings. No, I think that excuses the devs too much. Like, and I really do mean that. Like, while I don't think like every single thing is their fault, and while I do believe that like Type Moon apparently does control quite a bit of it, there's a point where the devs have to like stand up and say something and be like, look, you're wrecking this game if you don't like make adjustments and yada, yada, yada. And we actually know that has happened like at least a couple of times in the past. Because again, dev interviews and anecdotes that we've gotten. But I'm going to say again, like some fault, some blame still has to lie on the developer at the end of the day. They are the one making the game. You can't be in charge of a game and accept like literally no fault if something's not going the right way, right? I do think there are external factors. I do think there are things that interfere with it. But yeah, I mean, where else are you going to point the finger, right? Like, you have nobody else to point the finger at. You can like sit there and try to say like, oh, well, maybe it's like Type Moon, but we just don't actually know. We don't know how much of that decision making is in Type Moon's hands. We know they have decision-making power. We don't know how much. Would be cool if Triple Quick gave you NP gain stars. That would be an interesting idea if it somehow had an additional effect. However, they also like already buffed Triple Quick. And I think like buffing the card type itself is not really the solution at this point because they already have buffed it. They already have given you Mighty Chains to help it. So I think like any other further tweaks probably do run the risk of, as you start looking at some of those card RNG capabilities, really tipping the scale on that end. Yeah, it's not necessarily repeatable, but damn if you get it, holy crap, you might break the game at that point. So in that regard, I don't think that's necessarily how they need to go about fixing it. I think it's much better to actually at that point, like kind of pin the solution into a support unit's either NP or kit. And I think kit is logically the better of the two, since again, Quick has a tendency to have some issues naturally getting to its NP. Chain bonus also doesn't affect NPs, correct. Yeah, that's like one of the reasons that people say like, oh, well, therefore you're using the weakest card as the NP. And so like that's why it's like so much better for Mighty Chaining with. And I'm like, again, you're making a mountain out of a molehill because like, yeah, if you do a quick NP, right, then you can do Arts and Buster. And that's going to result in a Mighty Chain. However, if you're doing, for instance, say an arts NP, then you can also do quick and buster. And I'm sorry, the difference between these two cards' performance is actually not that big. Like, it may depend on the unit's kit, right? Like, if a unit has like quick and arts as part of their capability, that may be bigger. But actually, this is the reverse. Most units have quick and buster. And then same thing like with an arts unit, if it has arts and quick, or again arts and buster, it is what it is. But yeah, like to me, that's people probably just way overestimating the relative difference in strength between a second slot arts card and a second slot quick card. It really just doesn't matter that much. Like, I think if you're looking at like really high levels of modifiers, then it will. Like, that sort of thing will get modified, but it's not like as big of a deal when you're just working with like normal buffs. People also just seem to want quick to be arts too. So this is really interesting, right? Because for instance, I've been literally accused of that myself. And part of the reason why is because I've talked about how what quick needs is basically a Castoria. What I mean by that, chat, is quick needs a party charger, like full stop. And it does need to be like 30% plus for quick. Okay? Why do I say this? Because this is actually one of Quick's biggest issues. Again, if you look at both the Scotties, they both are designed to like buff one unit and only that one unit. Literally, they have block 50 charge, and so essentially they can only choose one person to put this on. They cannot spread this around the party like Castoria can. And so that's what I mean when I say that they actually need a unit like Castoria. This would help them literally with odd structured nodes and literally with, again, like sort of multi-damage dealer setups. You want to run 2 quick DPS? Again, this is actually somewhat difficult to do if you want to achieve the same level of power that you might be able to get out of a more synergized comp. I'm not going to say it can't be done, and I guarantee you that, like, as I say this, someone's probably sitting there thinking of like an example of where that statement is wrong. The reality is, again, it's not really actually wrong. It is founded in, again, that sort of concept of Quick just really has struggles divvying things up to the party. And it's usually relying on, again, the damage dealer at that point to help overcome the deficiency of the support rather than the support just being better overall. So again, I don't think it's that crazy of a thing to ask for. I'm not necessarily asking for, like, again, like something like super broken with like solemn defense or something. Though I will say at this point, I do believe they kind of fucked up with OG Scotty and her NP having one tick of dodge, one turn, right? Or sorry, not even one turn, one time of dodge, and literally it is unstackable. That is just so ass to me. Yes, it will get you through some enemies NP, but dear Lord, that is the flimsiest way to get through it. It is the most defeatable mechanic in that regard. And it simply requires like, oh, does this unit have their NP? Oh, well, this unit acts first. And it just goes bonk and literally hits your character. Then this unit NPs. Congratulations, this character is now dead. And I think that's so dumb. Like, again, it will work in a pinch, but I really think that should be better. It's Waver on the top rope with a quick buff. Yeah, I mean, I've seen people say like, hey, can we actually get like a buff to some of the older supports like Waver or Reigns? I don't know, right? Like, I'm going to say at this point that I believe that what the devs are trying to do there is that they're trying to keep them as sort of the like kind of omni support that is very easy to get your hands on. Oh, I got a drop. Sweet. So I think that's really what they're trying to do. But I do think that it wouldn't be the like most broken thing in the world if all of a sudden they basically ended up turning him into like, you know, a more quick oriented unit or turning her into a more quick oriented unit. Like, I don't think that's going to break the game by any stretch of the imagination. So to me, yeah, there are ways you can do it. People would start with a quick support then because free SSR. I mean, listen. I think that would actually go a long way in changing people's mind about quick, right? Because at least then the newer players would kind of start out quick centric and they would have a much better opinion of quick. Rather than like, oh, like, man, they just can't really easily get their hands on a quick support. And then by the time they do, they've probably already done a lot of reading and realized like, this system has some problems. But yeah, like, to me, and I don't want anyone to like think that I'm somehow like a quick hater. I'm absolutely not. I'm advocating for quick to get stronger because I think it deserves it and I think it could use it. I do believe that is kind of the issue that the system faces, and that is why overall this idea in the community about like, hey, the like this is somehow a crappy card type is a thing, right? Like I'm not going to say that that's an accurate portrayal by the community, but I also think there is a little bit of truth to it. See, here you go, chat. Boom. There's my mighty chain. Now, again, if I'm just happening to do this, like, in theory, yes, I have arts buffs, therefore I probably should have just gone with the arts card instead and not done the mighty chain, which is, again, why I say, like, some people probably overvalue mighty chain at certain points. But I think it is a valid thing to point out to people is that, like, yeah, no, look, it's actually not that big of a deal. Hear about snow in North Florida? Yeah, I was literally seeing pictures of it. It's like they're literally the beaches are coated in snow, which is wild. It looks like it's like somewhere up north around like the Great Lakes or something. Make waiver an 80% party charger by bumping his charisma 30% charge. I mean, shit, I can literally make one of the Scotties better for you right now. Take like literally like OG Scotty. Okay. Take her, I don't know, like take her defense down. Sorry, that's supposed to be def. Okay. Take her defense down and give that 20% charge for the party. Right now, chat is thinking. I've just stun-locked chat. They're not sure how to think, how to feel. It's actually getting a little dark in here, so let me turn this on. There we go. Make it 30? Well, if you make it 30, you now have the game's first 80% charger. Like support, right? Like, not that there aren't other units that can charge themselves 80%. But, that's spicy, okay? Like that's actually spicy. So this is like me keeping things like in line with how things currently are. Because if you make her a 50% charger with 20% party wide, congratulations, this is Oberon. Just is what it is. Does this help address like Quick's issues? I don't know. It probably does open up some comps, especially for like multi-damage dealer setups, but I don't know that it's necessarily like the most like game-breaking thing if you do this. But also at the same time, that's probably a good thing that it's not a game-breaking thing. The fact that I feel like you could probably add 20% charge to OG Scotty for the party and it wouldn't break the game is probably a good indicator that Quick could actually like benefit from this. However, this is also another issue because this does mean that Scotty would probably be pulled into comps that aren't necessarily Quick. So there is that. And I've talked about that issue before too, that any sort of change that you make to Quick needs to not apply to Arts or Buster, because the second that it does, congratulations, your buff to Quick was meaningless because you just made the other two card types even stronger in comparison. So it's like you gained nothing on them. %20 party charge is always finicky IMO because of appends and such. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree, right? Like, I prefer 30%. I'm not trying to say that, like again, obviously 30% party charge is way better, and that is something that I want Quick to get. However, I did not want to push the envelope necessarily with that change, right? Like, hey, let's do this. And it's like, well, we can do it, but I'm not sure it's going to be the best idea to do it. Well, I guess I'm going right back into the half AP treasure vault since I'm capped out here. How about giving Osaka Behime AoE 30% battery? See, my only issue with that is that Osaka Behime, just as a unit overall, is just way more at this point like suited to challenge than anything else. I feel like Osaka Behime is a unit that they've somewhat done dirty. She's not unusable, but she's quite literally a unit that, to me, just feels disjointed. And so I think at this point that her primary uses are as this weird sort of like challenge support / soloer. And to me, it's like, that's fine that she can do that. I don't really have any issues with it. But I feel like just slapping 30% party charge on Osaka Behime, while she may get more use if you did that, I'm not sure that it would necessarily change much. Because again, she's not necessarily one of the like, hey, I can actually buff your units by a crap ton type of units, right? So to me, she would somehow still be outside the meta if you did manage to buff her. You would probably need to do more than just that, but it is what it is. I'd prefer to have a 20% charge and a 30% split on a support. Yep, same deal, right? Like, and Avalon, I think you and me know exactly why, because Jesus, there are some units in Quick that like, oh man, they do not want to cooperate looping wise. But like, yeah, no, I think Quick at this point could really use a 30% charger with like, again, like Castoria, a 20% on top of it. That would really help out. Doubly so again, if it had like quick card type NP gain up. Like, that would be great, because then this literally would only impact quick cards. And I'm not going to say you couldn't use it with another card type, but it would, like, if you're going to use it with another card type, it'd be like a challenge meme thing where it's like, oh, well, I just need this unit's quick card specifically on this turn to actually generate enough charge to get me back to full. And so it's like, that would be like, oh yeah, it might get poached and get used in something like that, but it's not actually going to necessarily make another card type even stronger. Too many times it's been like, if we only had this, yeah. I'm trying to farm with Tlaloc. She comes up 3% short on the third turn every time. Yep. Yep. And that's like, when you look at something like that, you're just like, why? Why is this way? Again, like, there could be some things you can do to resolve that. Like, for instance, you can try to go out of your way and grab, like, I don't know, grab somebody else that enhances. Well, actually, I don't think she's a very NP gain oriented unit in the first place. I'm pretty sure I was looping with her on JP literally like a day or two ago. And again, like, her refund numbers are not great. So to me, brute force charge is probably the way to resolve her issue, but she's still short even in that scenario. So I don't know. Like, the only thing I can think of is be like, maybe you can squeeze out like the extra 3% if you can like pre-card something without killing it to reduce its health value to allow you to get more overkill hits. But with Quick, that's somewhat hard to do because, again, the inherent NP gain modifier on Quick is fairly low. So this is definitely a problem that that the card type faces. Hello, Katana. If I remember correctly, for a 3/3/3 node, we had triple Scotty, which was enough. Yeah, I like, and that's just kind of the issue that, to me, like, a lot of these units end up running into. It really just feels like it's a problem overall with, like, design. Like I can't even say like, oh, like the reason Tlaloc struggles to loop is because the quick system is bad. I can just look at like Tlaloc's NP gain numbers and say, no, they made them too low. That's just kind of the truth. Like, I do think what the devs try to do is they try to go like, hey, these units over here can work with double Scotty, but they know that that's going to be double Scotty Oberon. And so I think what they try to do is they try to divide it up and say, no, you must use triple Scotty for these other units. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to 3-turn with them. And I think that's meant to justify triple Scotty in the face of like, you can't just always run Oberon to fix all of your issues. Which I don't hate, but I do think it's like, man, even then, some of the units just really feel like they got jobbed on the refund side. Of comma assassin / Shinji on a chair emote. Wait, what? But thank you for the resub, Okayist. Appreciate it. Oh, also, Okayist. Hold on here real quick. While I got you. Again, work's just been awful for me, so. Yeah, each one of those is fine. So Chaos is just for transparency chat working on the thumbnails for me for the banner review videos. And I think we're going to get you guys the first one probably tomorrow. I have it like mostly prepped on YouTube. Like I probably could have released it today, but I literally just got like inundated with work. So it was one of those deals of like, fine, I'll punt it one more day. But I promise you guys I will get it to you guys tomorrow. How are you dealing with the cold and the snow? So it's not snowing where I am. It's actually not that cold where I am. In fact, I'm plugging it real fast. Let me check my phone here. Yeah, it's only like 50 degrees here right now. So it's not too bad. The problem is it has been raining all day. Like everything is freaking soaked. And it's not exactly pleasant weather, right? Like at this point, it's just like it's windy, it's rainy, it had been overcast the entire day, and it just does not stop. So, yeah. Yeah, we're not getting the like we're not getting the actual snow that apparently like the panhandle is getting, but like I'm okay with that. I've seen it snow. Like it would be awesome at least like once in my life to get some snow here, but like I've seen snow, so it's not like I'm like, oh boy. Rather be 50 degrees and rainy than it is where I am. Oh yeah, I'm not saying like I have it so bad compared to everybody else, right? Do you want to build a snowman? Chat. If I built a snowman, it would have to be me, and then I would have to build a snow woman, and that would have to be Aurelia. Kemba, thank you again for the gift. Appreciate it, my man. Chat, can we get some love for Kemba? Let me see some hugs. Do you want to build a Sandman? I mean, that's way easier at that point. Okay, chat. We're going to start Saberface 7.2 again. I believe we're on chapter somewhere. I think we're like 1 or 2 pips into chapter 14. We're not moving very fast. You guys know the drill at this point. Please no spoilers. I know some of you guys have already been done for a while now, but it'd be what it be. Okay, apparently we're 3 pips in. Time for Unplugged Simulator? Yeah, again, this keeps breaking my capture card. Now, again, this is Saberface only, which means I can only use people that have the Saberface trait. The only exception at the moment being Arthur, because Arthur doesn't have the Saberface trait for God knows what reason. But again, essentially, if I have to use story supports, it does not brick the run. I am allowed to use them because quite literally the story is forcing you to, so there's no way around it even if I wanted to. But again, I don't really consider it to be broken if I have to end up using the unit. But those are the only ones. And if I don't have to use the unit, I won't use the unit. I finished on Sunday now for Cat to point out the stuff I missed. This has been really, really interesting, frankly. Like, I've been really enjoying Seven's story, at least in terms of like complexity compared to like LB6. And it doesn't mean that LB6 wasn't complex, but just in the sense of like it really feels like the story is interwoven and there's a lot of like references to things that literally they're hiding in plain sight, where it's like if you know, you know. Ah, yes, the Poopal ritual. A deep darkness. That makes him normally visible when he's in front of you, but also cloaks him in darkness when viewed from a distance. I mean, if that's the case, this would also indicate like maybe one of the reasons that the foreign god basically treated him as an equal. Like, if she can't observe him, then this does make a little bit of sense. Wait, I'm sorry. Given everything that we know, chat, this scent is the Popol, a ritual that connects your minds with Mictlans. Are we literally just like snorting shrooms here and going on a psychedelic trip? Because like we know that that's exactly what like the mala and stuff are. Like yeah, I feel like literally this is drug use. I do feel like what they're maybe trying to go for is like the Vision Quest type of idea here, but it's kind of funny. Microdosing, perfectly okay, yeah. Yeah, microdosing made by a gigantic brontosaurus. What could possibly go wrong? Surely they got the measurement for our body right. 100,000 years later. I mean, but God, over 100,000 years, all life would die out. Wait, this is kind of weird, because, like, XQuick could literally tell us this, so I don't know why we're viewing this. Like, we should be seeing Daybit somewhere other than the observatory, since that's where she can't observe him, rather than when he's right in front of her. Not necessarily deep ocean life has next to no sunlight. I guess that's a good point, right? Like, we are kind of underground, so maybe like the warmth of like the underground would keep it alive a little bit. But yeah, like after 100,000 years with no sunlight, I gotta imagine that would be close to killing just about everything. Whoa, did you really think you could cross this fourth underworld and Mictlan's space tree all by yourself without so much as a guide? Wait, is my pet theory actually correct? Are we inside the tree? Is the tube actually the trunk of the tree? Like, because I spat that one out way back in 7.1, and I really, like, in a weird way, hope that I'm right. Oh, he used a command seal. Well, a mythology that defeated Ort 6 million years ago. See, I wonder if David actually knew that at the time, but I assume he did. Want to know if I existed in your world too? No, you didn't. What if we just tell him that? What if we just gaslight him, chat? Only because it ran out of fuel. Oh, so this is why they're gathering magical energy. So the Acelema are literally like performing their rituals so that they can gather magical energy so that they can bring Ort back. Also, chat, again, no spoilers. I'm wondering these things out loud so that you know my frame of mind. We know they are gathering magical energy, IA, but no, that has not been a confirmed thing. Or night bitters. Period of underworld pilgrimage. Guess I better summon a serpent. I don't count as part of humanity. I can still summon a servant with the power of the land itself. Okay, but that's technically not you summoning them then. You actually made a human body to possess just to answer that guy's summons? Huh. You don't want to go with Tenochtitlan? Lady Birdbrain was here. Okay, so there you go. This is the confirmation. Also, again, chat, I would like to say, if you answer one of my hypotheses with, wait, they haven't already revealed that, you're as good as actually spoiling me, because you're confirming that I was right. Doesn't mean I haven't caught on to it already, but just please don't actually confirm it to me. Wait. That zoom in to his face. Had that SSR servant? Yeah. Well, like I said, when in doubt, if you're not sure whether or not something's been covered, err on the side of caution, please, chat. Because I've seen so many people go like, wait, wasn't that already mentioned? No, it fucking wasn't. So David making an underworld pilgrimage all on his own, finding Ort's body in Mictlan's bottom stratum. Would be now. If you wanted to destroy Mictlan, wouldn't you just like somehow poke a hole in the roof? Rolling tonight? No, I'll roll tomorrow. Usually the banner comes out like at reset, which right now, due to daylight savings time being what it is like right as I end stream. You guys can consider me your pre-Kukulkan entertainment. Even if the world's destroyed, it won't be your fault. I mean, I feel like if you have the power to stop it, you do nothing. It's still kind of your fault. Like, it's not 100% on you, but like... I've been able to live peacefully for 66 million years. That's true. You've been able to live peacefully. You'll also die peacefully. See, this is such stupid logic, and allow me to explain. If the world is destroyed, that just means its time has come. Sure, I agree with that statement. I don't think humans have any right to interfere. Humans are literally what is interfering with this. Literally. I mean, like, I guess you can argue that David himself is somehow not amongst the ranks of humanity, but quite literally, the cause can be stated to, at this point, at least tangentially, to be humans. Like, if for no other reason than David wants to destroy the world to get rid of humanity. Like, who cares if it's selfish at that point? You have a right to be selfish when it involves your own life. Being selfish is not inherently bad. It's when being selfish hurts someone else that it is. But when being selfish preserves yourself, it's not a bad thing. All life is equal. No living thing is worth more than any other. Okay, but what about two living things? Are they worth more than one living thing? If one is equal to one, then two is greater than one. Like, again, all of this works, except it just does not apply to this exact situation. Living beings fighting out of a desire to protect someone or something is fundamentally wrong. All right, Chad, I'm gonna go get a snack because I can't handle the lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bitch. Okay. Yeah, that irked me a lot. Yeah, it's like, no, I completely disagree with this. And don't get me wrong, right? Like, this is the concept that people would tell you, like, in theory, is wrong with humanity. Humanity is self-preserving. It cares too much about itself. It holds itself to a higher standard. And humanity, again, will, like, do things that harm other things, basically, to preserve itself. I get that, but at least as of like, and I think this is at least a little bit more of an argument in the Nasuverse, because technically humanity is not the only level of sentience in the Nasuverse, whereas like in real life, as far as we know, humanity is the only level of sentience. I think you can explore the concepts of what it means to be a human, but I also think that in general, fighting to protect someone or something is not bad. It's not fundamentally wrong. This is like, to me, the exact sort of like warped mentality when people go like, oh yeah, everything that Shiro did was actually like just wrong. And you're like, huh? And you're just like sitting there and you're like, no, that's not a thing. Like yes, you shouldn't be to the point that you're literally gonna throw your life away. Like, you're just self-sacrificial for the point of like, I want to be a hero. No, you don't protect something because you want to be a hero. You protect something because you want to protect it. Like, that's what's wrong with his mentality to a degree, but he's not wrong to want to protect things. There's nothing wrong with that. That is not being selfish. That's being selfless. So this is something that X-Quick here is getting wrong. And again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name. No, what she's saying does not make sense. Oh? Hey, Cuckoo, you didn't want to tell us this? I'll do some lore questions about this, but I'll wait until you're done with the LB. Oh yeah. I mean, again, we're on fragment 3. We'll definitely have a discussion when I'm done. Cycle like in years or days? We don't really know. That's definitely a vague statement. Oh shit. Come out, Selima. I know you're hiding there. Danos' senses are nothing like you apes'. Even alone, I could crush all 6 of you in an instant. Oh god, it's Batman. King to king? No, it's not that. I am a king. I'm the best king the Danos could hope for. I can't trust Kukulkan or the king of the dinosaurs she chose to lead us. The dinos are Mictlan's superior species. We are the ideal version of humanity created by the Mala. You ocelotl monkeys, on the other hand, oh my god, I need to change his voice. He's now Frieza, chat. I need to change his voice to Frieza. You ocelotl monkeys. On the other hand, are a lower form of life that don't enjoy any of the Mala's protections. Normally, even considering a discussion like this would be utterly absurd. But if your objective is truly to prolong Mictlan's life, then I'm willing to be a little absurd. Iskali, king of the Aselima, if you and your people can truly save our son, then I'll give you the Solar Sojourn, Chicken Itza, and Proper Human History ship. How does that sound? Wait, that's a relic of the Khan Kingdom, the embodiment of the wisdom we lower life forms had to draw on just to survive. Wait, then what? Why would you destroy it? Sounds like you should honor it. Fine. I'll make up a reason to send the warriors into the plains. The rest will be up to you. Take that chance to destroy the ramparts and reach the altar. But what about Proper Human History's ship? Can you carry it yourselves? You can't do Frieza, it's impossible. I can't do Frieza off the top of my head. I would need like an example, and then I could probably try to mimic the voice. I wouldn't be able to do it one-to-one though. Your voice for that guy is still giving him too much respect and dignity. I mean, see, I gotta admit this, and this is something that I brought up with my friends. Like, there's a issue so far that I can see lore-wise, and that's that if Ort actually can destroy the entire planet, he would first have to destroy Mictlan. Which then by definition means that he would destroy the tree. Which then by definition means that the Lost Belt would literally close itself. Thereby meaning Ort goes bye-bye. To me, one of the avenues of success for Chaldea is to literally just go down there, chop the tree down, and then Ort goes bye-bye. But I don't know. This is an interesting idea of like, would Ort be able to escape the Lost Belt and destroy the entire planet in the process? So that is an interesting like idea, and I'm not sure. But to me, this seems to be how it would flow. Is that he would basically destroy the tree while destroying Mictlan, thereby closing the Lost Belt and getting rid of himself. So in theory, all you need to do is leave. But I'm sure David has some sort of plan for that, or literally Ort can just kind of overpower it. Okay, so there's something else that we don't know about Camazotz. The concept of death. Yeah. Okay, so now I can actually say it. This is one of the things that I knew, unfortunately, ahead of time. And one of y'all in chat heavily tried to blab, but I think one of y'all really tried to hint at this the other day. There is an analog. Obviously, you have the archetype that is X-Quick, that is a pale white brontosaur with a blonde, like, gold, like, ornamentation on her head and red eyes. That is closely related to Tepeo, who keeps pushing his glasses up constantly and apparently has mystic eyes of death perception. So the analog here is Arcuate and Cheeky. And it's really on the fucking nose. So it's like, this is something that I already knew about, but I very purposefully was trying not to like let the cat out of the bag on that one. Fucking Twitter was throwing this fury in my face 2 months ago. Yeah, like, and I hate it. Like Twitter's really bad about this shit. In fact, I've already seen people like making videos about the Lost Belt and stuff and like just posting them to Twitter and stuff. And I'm like, please stop, guys. Like, it hasn't even been a week. Like, give people some amount of time. I remember seeing some picture 2 years ago, so I had a feeling. Yeah, this was something I was spoiled on because again, I think it was like Twitter, and I had no idea what I was looking at, and then I went like, shit. Yeah, maybe to you, Rasputin. Like it's just zooming in on her. All right, chapter 15. It actually hasn't broken my capture card yet, which is wild. Yeah, see, I disagree with this. I don't think this is ethical. And I think this does come down to like what you consider ethics to be. But quite literally, they're defeatist. They're literally just rolling over and dying, essentially. And this is definitely one of the reasons why they don't deserve to be proper human history. Again, the planet is fine as long as there is life on it. Well, what's going to happen when the sun explodes and there's no more life in Mictlan, which is literally the only place that there's life on the planet right now in this Lost Belt? I mean, it is what it is at that point. I mean, you said set up a dragnet for him. You literally know he has an underground path to Ort. So, like, he's not going to take whatever path you think he's going to take. Like, this is why I keep saying, like, Da Vinci keeps saying some, like, dumbass shit. Like, things that Da Vinci herself should know are not the case. Like, literally, this line should not be something that Da Vinci should say. Pacifist does not equal highest moral ground. Right. They believe life will eventually return. That I can understand. Like, I just wish they would actually give you a line about that. But like, hey, it's okay. Like, we think we'll come back from this. We believe. Okay. They're getting shredded. Oh no, they killed a dinosaur. Those bastards. Bro. The entire cast of the -10 int modifier this will be? Yeah. A true ocelotl fight. Okay. Ooh, 5 AP. Is this a quote-unquote unwinnable? Hold on. It finally broke my capture card. Finally. There we go. Did my hidden powers finally awaken? A third of the supplies? Jesus. She really does understand me. Woo, yes. Oh, are we getting a Koyan solo? Yep. Yep, literally. I'm finally done with all of my Christmas fudge. Jesus. I got one more to eat. Fucking knew it, man. Biggest boss, thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate it. How are you doing today? Arch card cracked as always. Yep. I probably don't need her buster up for this. I'm just gonna let her like naked NP here basically. Mr. Ash, thank you for the 47. Appreciate it. Yeah, can we get even more love? I gotta switch out the Christmas emotes when I get a chance. They've now overstayed their welcome. I keep finding myself using them in conversations with people and being like, hey, I know it's not Christmas anymore. Did I sneeze today? Yeah, I think so. Why? I was talking about you. I see. Oh, well, that's just downright disgusting. Well, I'm not going to preemptively use any of this because she'll just die if I do. However, I'm a little bit worried about having yeah, at least I can stack the defense down or the attack down. Oh, actually, I maybe should have done that to the Berserker. Bro, what the okay, now she got sure hit. Thank God. I was about to say, I was like, the heck am I supposed to do about this? Oh, I can't even use the Mystic Code even if I want to. Joking around with you is fun because your reactions are great. Yeah, I mean, like, in general, I goof around with a lot of people. Some people you can't goof around with anymore. People take such shit, like, so fucking serious nowadays. It's kind of sad. But it's nice to be able to, like, hang with your bros and bust their balls, right? But no, I mean, like, obviously there's a point where it's like you go too far, so you always have to, like, I don't know, just be like jovial with it. Don't be actually hurtful with that shit. Like you with mayonnaise being delivered to your door, I will send you to Jesus. Ooh. I wonder who this is. Charitable organization? Ah, see, there you go. You were talking about me again. A merchant of death. Touchedly. So I don't know if touchedly is like just a like name for her that he's saying, or if this is like a reference to somebody actually in like Aztec mythology. Like, not gonna lie, this is to me the worst artwork of him. And I think it's just mostly because like the color that they went for with this art style looks really weird. It means rabbit. Okay, so it is. It's just kind of like a reference name for her. I just like the mask's mouth. Yeah, to me, like more than that, it is really just like the color palette that they went for with the design. I feel like they maybe should have chosen like black or something. I don't know, but that may have just been too close to his Kali. Good God. So, like, at this point, Whack-Chan's more of a human than the rest of the dinos. Because, like, he actually is feeling emotion here. And see, that's, I think, one of my issues is, like, he's actually, like, reasoning with himself and thinking this through. Whereas it feels like most other dinosaurs just have, like, the default mode of, like, it is what it is. And they never try to think about it because it would be too problematic for them to think about. It's like Winnie the Pooh being, or wait, was it Winnie the Pooh or is it Eeyore? Like whichever one of them is like, oh, what a bother, like all the time. That's what they remind me of. It's like it's too much of a bother for them. Why is your waifu grooving in the corner to genocide? I mean, I don't know, man. She's been grooving in the corner all night. I don't like. She's been grooving in the corner to genocide, but she's been grooving in the corner to literally everything else too, including flashbacks, talks of world destructions and sun explosions, and you name it. Is it really broken? No, I think like it's just quite literally like she has not responded to anything that chat has done because I think the bot wasn't first enabled for her. There, chat, you want the Yu-Gi-Oh pose? Can make her think. We can give her the thinking pose. There. We'll just leave her like that. How about that? Ain't no party like a Lost Belt party. Got proved. It's the shrooms. Yes, that's what it is. The other dinos aren't cowards like I am? No, I think they're more of a coward than you are, Whack-Chan. So they can't hear the mala anymore. This is interesting. Maybe this is why the sun's gonna explode? And this may also be why he's willing to give up the solar sojourn, is because, like, maybe he knows it's just useless. That's whack? Yeah, this shit's all whack. Damn, I really like him. Yeah, listen, I would take Whack-chan over like a million like Pachis from Lost Belt 1. Dude, oh my god, I want chat. Oh, Olga showed up. Let's go. And don't bother voting for me. Purely on a whim. Any more screaming colors? So chat, I want to see a future. If Olga truly rebuffs him in the end, right? Which I assume she will, or that he's dead. But I want to see like a future where Whack-chan gets it off with Kijo Koyo. That's what I want to see. I want to see dinosaur on dinosaur action. I want Whack to like find the love of his life. Get that out of your head. No. Like y'all got your mind in the gutter, okay? I'm saying like this man deserves happiness and he should absolutely be able to find another like dinosaur woman. Right? Like this is all chat jumping like to the worst possible iteration of this. Don't stain Kijo Koyo. Listen, you didn't even spell her name right, okay? Like, you didn't even spell her name right, but I bet Whack-chan would remember it, okay? Because he's whack. He deserves it. My hopefully future wife is so cool. Whack-chan is considerate. Whack-chan is like all of us, chat. We should all aspire to be Whack-chan. All of us. Oh, hold on. It's so funny that I can close the app and it starts to work again, but the second I'm in the capture card in the game, it doesn't work. Okay. I don't want to be whack, though. Why don't you want to be whack? Reject humanity, return to Lizord. You may have to use Black Barrel. Didn't they literally forbid us from using it? Whack, don't crack. What the fuck? Okay, so I can actually just choose who I want. Okay, so then I think the solution... Is that... And that... And that. And that. And then we're gonna go that. And that. And that. And that. Again. Yep. Oh, it's just 1 out of 1, 6 out of 6. Well, shit. Why didn't you just say so? I ain't even needing half this shit. Yeah, she's gonna mop up any of the Lancers right there, and everything else is gonna probably get mopped up by Jarcher. Bonk. Okay, easy node, easy clap. That's literally the easiest node in the entire Lost Belt so far. Wait, why did everything go grayscale? Oh. Bluba. Tezca. Flipoka. She got bodied? She did. That's some assassin on assassin violence right there. More likely than you think. Alright, what is this? 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 5.5. Oh, damn it. It did it again, didn't it? Got Wolverine claws, watch out. Yep. Why don't you just take off? So we split the party. Oh man, hasn't anybody ever told them never split the party? I still can't tell. I guess, like, just naturally her hands are bloody. It's sensual serpentine flexibility. Wait, she should have no knowledge of Egyptian mythology. Oh, you pissed her off. Yeah, I don't like this because basically and there may be a reason, but at least as of right now, Tlaloc seems to know exactly who Nito is and like everything about Egypt. And the problem with this is the throne gives a servant all the knowledge it needs for the current age. It doesn't necessarily give them omniscience. That is to say, they don't have like knowledge of everything. And with her being a servant from another part of the world that would probably not have known about Egypt, unless like that's what they're kind of trying to imply, is that like the Aztecs and the Mayans got the ideas for pyramids from the Egyptians because they actually did visit somehow. Like, if that's what they want to go with, that's okay. But like, this is somewhat weird to me because she shouldn't really have any of this knowledge unless somebody else gave it to her. I guess like maybe David did or like Tez did somehow. But otherwise, that's really odd to me. I asked the crypter about you. Okay, so there you go. So it was literally David. I was gonna say, like, to me, it makes no sense how she would have this info otherwise. It's like she's way too knowledgeable. Everyone knows ancient aliens introduced the pyramids, Cat. Like, I shit you not, Jay. Like, low key, I thought that's what they were going for. I thought they were going the ancient aliens route with this, especially given like everything else that's going on here, like Ort being here and stuff. I thought that's what they were gonna try and pull, and so I was like, "Oh, come on, don't do it like this. This is such a." So I'm at least glad it's like, yeah, she was just talking to David, was why. They'll leave the ship intact for insurance. There's no point in keeping this useless pile of garbage around. Ah, so this is funny. Like, she literally has knowledge of Nito Chris, but doesn't have knowledge of her own lost belt. Because it's clear, like, the whole reason they want to keep the ship intact is because it's and they literally said, like, for insurance, right? It is literally as a backup option in case somehow Ort decides to just murder everybody. Yeah, that taunt was super effective. to 2 servants from your own roster. How nice of them! They gave me servants from my own roster. Oh, wait. I don't have much of a choice. She shouldn't have invuln pierce, right? Right? Like, that's not a thing, right? Right? There it is. I would like to use this mystic code, but it's probably best if I don't. Cloakin, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Disgusting. Thankfully, we have Nemo, because Nemo literally invalidates that mechanic. Let me see here. Skill seal and MP seal. Should just be sure hit. Can evade 3 times 3 turns. We can get the MP gauge per turn. Probably best if I do that. I'm not gonna... Yeah. This should count as near water, but I don't know. It's like literally raining. Okay. I assume I just have to break her bar. Okay, could you like literally hit anyone else? Oh my god, I got like the worst possible starting cards. Jesus. I'm just gonna take the arch chain here. All Nito? Well, the problem was turn 1 was like almost all Buster cards, and then turn 2 is like all Nito and then quick cards for everybody else. So it's like I should have very easily been able to form a triple quick or a triple arch chain, and I couldn't. Yeah, she's also like hyper fixated on Nito at this point. Just gonna pop that. Does he actually have this maxed? No. It is enough. Okay. So it's not water side, Jesus. It's literally raining profusely everywhere and it's not counting as water side. Okay, at least he got 40% back. %. Happened earlier with Nemo and PC at Mexico City. Yeah, I mean, that one I think is a little bit more understandable. But still, it's also raining in that one too. Man, she really wants Nito dead. Alright, I don't think that's gonna help. Although actually, you know, I probably should have popped it early. No comment to this. I was gonna say, please tell me I don't have to do both bars. Both bars would be a little rough. And mostly just because she would eventually win that war of attrition since you were forced to use Kadok's Mystic Code. Shut up and fire. Damn, we torpedoed that bitch. And she's gonna get in. Sad cry. Oh, yeah. How strong is Kukulkan if she could one-shot that? Oh, cutscene? Oh. Is this who I think it is? The blossom of the withered space tree. Hmm. Yeah, I think this is just his warped way of saying, I killed her purely so that I can kill you myself. Sorry, it broke again, chat. There we go. In Aztec mythology's creation myth, there are 4 Tezcatlipoca's, 1 for each of the cardinal directions. Distinguished by color red, blue, black, and white. Death, rebirth, and grain. War and night. Well, I mean, everything's grayscale, which tells me, like, he froze time or some shit. Actually, I think you can make an argument that the sun has in fact sided with certain sides. It can't be. That's impossible. Don't mind if I do. All right, ruler Taz. Okay, what does my handy dandy little cheat sheet tell me about this one? Well, obviously Avenger. Oh, that mechanic is here. Fun. Okay, do I have a Castoria? Yes. It's gonna let me use an actual composition. So for starters, Avenger. Gonna be a thing. Involved Pierce also a good idea. Let's see. Yeah, we still only have the one Involved Pierce Mystic Code. Which is, what, the original summer one? Yep. Double checking to make sure I'm not a total idiot. Yeah. Really hoping that would be the case. Just spoil the mood sometimes in a blind run. Listen, I've already done them all on JP, but did you guys know we did create a guide to LB7? Okay, that wasn't a complete rear switch, which is interesting. Debuff success rate. That's gonna be a little annoying. Well, as the increased charge per turn. Is he Skytrait? He is. Well, fuck. Hello, Azure. Oh, she got it. Wow. Fuck. Come on, man. Wait. Wait, is that it? Wait, is that? Oh, okay. I thought I had to do both bars. That was an easy clap. Holy shit. I was preparing for the long haul there. Little float walk nearby, I see. Also, everything's back to normal. So it's like she literally interfered with this man's pocket dimension. Oh, he opened his mouth. You're the one who bleached proper human history in the first place. Ooh, can we actually take him at his word? Is this finally confirmation of who did the deed? We don't know. I have amnesia. And you didn't say a damn thing? Hello everybody from Fox's stream. How's it going? I can't hide this from you. But I don't know if everybody is caught up. I am in chapter 15 of 7.2. So again, spoiler warning. But Fox, thank you for the raid. Hope your stream was good. What are you guys up to today? Gotta go, don't want spoilers? It's all good. I understand. Virtual, thank you for the follow. I can't stay because I haven't done W7 yet. Okay. It's perfectly fine. Yeah, like you guys came in at the perfect moment where it's like, I can't get this off the screen. So it is what it is. Doing rank ups and interludes in JP and NA. Nice. Yeah, I got a couple done on JP myself. But again, if you guys need to cut and run, I totally understand it. It's no harm, no foul. Thank you again for the raid. We're gonna keep on doing story here in a second. I just wanted to give everybody a chance to like settle in, or obviously, mute or switch tabs, you name it. Please talk to Fox. Oh, what do I need to talk to Fox about? He needs to rest. Fox, take a rest. We know the Woo Man is an LV7, so no real spoilers. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying not to show anything else here. He not listening? Oh, well, I get it. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, so. I almost posted something based on the current scene. Yes, the raid happened. Yes. Passed my test today? Hey, nice. Yes. Go get yourself some rest. All right. Again, thank you for the raid, guys. If you haven't ever checked out Mr. Fox for us, go do so. He's a good buddy of mine. He's played some, I would have called it Overwatch if I had just opened my mouth there, but Marvel Rivals with us. And again, he loves to stream FGO as well as Girls Front Line. So go give that man some love, and we're going to be continuing on with 7.2 here. Again, if you're curious as to where we are in chapter 15 of the story. So if you're past me, you're safe. If you're not past me, I advise you, well, at least be careful about spoilers, because there's going to be some. So, all right, let's get started. Let's see, what did she say? Or what did he say? Lied to her so you could use her for your own ends. Oh. My choice, ... or ... Got a horn? His colleague killed the king. I wonder which king, though. Whoa. Bro just phased out of existence. Yeah, we're fine. Listen, it's better than the, like, alarm that goes off in Star Wars now all the time. That... I hate that thing. It didn't used to be a thing, and now they put it in everything. The second he points out an inconvenient truth, the guy says enough of this. Bro's going full on Chucky. Oh shit. Then they take the shot we've given them and use it to try and kill their enemies. You kill a god, an entire world, in pursuit of your goal. Wait. If you're a god of proper human history, you're my enemy and I'll kill you. If you're a god of this lost belt, you're my ally and I'll spare you. That lets me obey Tezcatlipoca's orders and still kill another Tezcatlipoca. No, it doesn't. Because all he would have to do is say this. That he's a god of the lost belt, and then he has to spare him. Which then means he cannot both obey and kill Tezcatlipoca. Iskali's such a fucking idiot. I really wish him the worst. He deserves it. Yep. Damn. Nothing burger of a character? I wouldn't say he's a nothing burger, I just don't like him. None of you can understand human speech anyways. I mean... Oh, listen, I don't feel bad about that, you know, blonde-headed Chucky getting what's for. Only 16 of Selma survived long enough to retreat. Motherfucker, if there's anyone that doesn't deserve to survive. That's right! I led the Aselma into our city while all of you were cowering before the king of the dinosaurs. Did Kukulkan protect us? No! Could the king of the dinosaurs, with his feeble body, offer us any protection? No! Neither had any business attempting to guide Mictlan, or any of you for that matter. Look at all those dead apes! Do you lot know why they went this far? Do you know what they were fighting for? Their goal is to prolong our world's life. They challenged us for supremacy so they could give the sun new vitality. Up until now, we've only treated these creatures as lower life forms. We have never seen them as genuine rivals. But they are the ones trying to save Mictlan from its fifth destruction. They are the ones trying to stop proper human history from pruning us away. I did nothing wrong. It was the world that was wrong, not me. There is no room in Mictlan for either a spineless king or cowardly Danos. Priest McCoon was charged with treason and thrown in prison. Fuck yes! Fuck this guy. It's not fair. It should have been me, not him. The Danos bore him no hate. That's fine. I'll bear all the hate for the Danos. He's always disrespectful to the sun. It's no wonder he lost his mind. Damn. Damn. Bro was a blasphemer, and basically they allowed him to become the high priest. Also, I like how the Danos like literally bear him no hate and don't care, but are being low-key racist towards him. Our strategy for survival is right, so I guess they really do think they're going to survive this. Intelligent creatures see meaning in everything. Intelligence is the ability to try to draw closer to great things. I don't agree with that definition, but sure, I guess that's one way that you could say it. Like, I can see how somebody would think that, but I don't agree with it. See, I get the whole, like, hey, they've remained unchanged after all this time, but the fact that there are literally different species of Danos actually kind of disproves this, because it's like, why is, like literally all the different Danos, aka dinosaurs, you have, like, Stegosauruses, T-Rexes, like literally each one of those is their own evolution and progression on their own. Maybe they didn't progress at all in the last, like, again, 66 million years, but they clearly progressed before that point. Moswag, thank you for the follow. Is Cuckoo tonight? Yes, Cuckoo is literally in like 21 minutes. Gran Cavallo log. Ooh. And this is definitely interesting. Like, so far to me, this seems the least Lost Belty of all the Lost Belts, because it seems almost like LB6. Like, this thing's already just doomed. Always has been, always will be. Oh, this is weird. She's now talking in a green text. Altered thought patterns that appears to be degradation. It has nothing to do with extinction. And a decline in the cosmic ray leakage produced by the tree's bark regrowth. Monk S. Yeah, clearly that's like the mala that she's hearing there. Epilogue? Motherfucker, what? What do you mean epilogue? This ain't no fucking epilogue. This shit ain't over. The end. It was not, in fact, the end. Wait, what do you mean grieve our losses? Like don't get me wrong, some Danos died, but like we didn't lose anyone. I guess the king of the dinosaurs is dead, but like we don't fucking care about him. Yeah, this is Planet of the Apes. It was not a proxy war between proper human history and this Lost Belt, but it was. Like, it actually was a proxy war. Because the Aselima would have never gotten to the point that they did and actually done what they did if not for Tezcatlipoca using them and teaching them. So literally, if he doesn't interfere, they stay as just this, like, again, ape-like species. Also, the dinos were not trying to destroy them in any way, shape, or form. Oh yeah, we never found out what happened to Koyan. I had a master. Listen, yeah, I was gonna say that's her own fault. The only reason she doesn't have a master is because no one trusts her. We'll turn things around in overtime. And they give her the follow ace. Hmm. Oh, it's Whack-Chan. Oh, so Tepeo is gonna find Olga and Rasputin. You're coming with me. Spoiler, Whack-Chan's even more horny now that he knows who she is. Math formula. The cycle 6 times? Actually, it's probably a lot more than that. Are we just gonna pretend that all of part 1 didn't exist? Or the Epic of Remnants? Or any of the event singularities? And that actually makes sense, because, like, Tepeo said, like, Tepeo figured things out, like, really fast. And it's like, for instance, the thing about, like, oh, our son's gonna die. It's like, yeah, he could literally see the death perception of it, right? My god, they're telling jokes. So I guess they're just gonna go like hibernate because there's no more sun. Well, the priestess. Really like to get some more out of that. Oh boy. Hey, Mr. Side. Thank you for the raid. How's it going, everybody? You guys up to? We're just doing some 7.2. A 50-50 chance of succeeding? No. I think you mean we have a 50-50 chance of choosing one of the plans. Genshin, oh, I see. Again, I hope you guys had a good stream. Just a bit of a warning here about spoilers. Abysmal Genshin rolling. Ooh. Did you lose your 50-50? Again, we're splitting the team. What the heck, man? But I hope you've been good, Side. Hope life's been treating you well. And again, welcome everybody from Side Stream. Lost every single 50-50? Oh, shit, dude. That does sound bad. Slight health complications, but you know how it is. Yeah. Again, I hope all that stuff is kind to you. I at least have a coworker that's going through the same stuff, so I get it. Will I be drained completely? I hope not. I hope everybody has good luck rolling for her. I can't wait to roll tomorrow. We're gonna be rolling in P5, chat. So y'all best get your wallets ready. Grab your popcorn. Get comfy tomorrow. And then data update. All right. Oh, I like it. Actually broke the capture card, bro. How do you break the capture card? Leaving to do a game update. Like, what the heck? Okay, there we go. I'm surprised. Oh, yep, there you go. So now you can see. I was like, I'm surprised they didn't give you like a pop-up when you first came in. But yes, there she is, chat. Like, I'll give you a cheeky single, okay? I'll give you a cheeky single before tomorrow's rolls. This is all you get. And it's nothing. It's literally the Atlas Institute laughing. Again, good luck on everybody planning to roll. Let me see if anybody is on. We're going to stop there for tonight. Again, thank you, Mr. Sideswipe, for the raid. And also Mr. Fox for us. You guys should definitely go check both of them out. I am going to send you guys, looks like Miss Ivy's way. She is on. And again, hope you guys enjoyed story time. I can't wait to get deeper. We're now actually getting into like the thick of it, so it's going to be real fun in that regard. But yes, we're going to be rolling in P5 Cuckoo tomorrow, which means we probably won't get too far in the story unless the rolls go super fast, which I'm not expecting that they will. But again, thank you guys for being here. Go give Miss Ivy my love, and I will see you guys tomorrow. And again, good luck and may the courts be with you.